Hey you guys, in this video we're doing a custom video for Kate. Thank you so much, Kate. I'm going to be scratching on fabric, primarily pillows, but a few other items as well. And we're going to also be doing intermittently wood scratching. I don't have my wood table anymore, but this is a wooden wardrobe that I thought would sound really nice for the wood scratching. So all scratching and soft spoken. I'm just going to be chit-chatting with you guys and sharing some stories. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you again, Kate, very, very much. So we are starting off with this pillow. It's got some different colors of like blues, a bit of a light purple, some grey, and it has a really nice scratch to it. So there's a video that I did back when COVID was first happening, where I was scratching on a couch, and I scratched on that couch for several videos during that time, and so that was kind of the inspiration. She remembered that video and kind of wanted some of that kind of fabric scratching sound. So I'm going to tell you a couple stories from when I was really, really little. I don't know if I've shared some of these before, so we'll see. I want to say maybe this one I've shared in one video in the past. I don't know for sure, but likely it will be new for most of you. My family told me this story. I don't actually have a memory of it. I was too little. I think I was about 4 or 5 years old. And one of my parents was very busy doing some work, and I was outside playing, and I decided to make an ice cream stall. And that consisted of taking a bike, turning it upside down so it's like on the handles and a wheel, and I don't know, it's somehow sturdy. You know what? I think I do have some memory of like playing in that particular place. But I don't know, I couldn't have remembered this exact story without my family telling me. So yeah, I turned that upside down. I'm going to go into some wood scratching and continue to share. Ooh, it sounds like Narnia feelings, Narnia vibes. The wardrobe. Anyway, so yeah. I was outside playing. Apparently I was by myself playing. I don't know where everyone else was. I just know one parent was inside working and I was playing by myself. And I wanted them to come to my ice cream store. And according to my parent, I came several times over and over to ask that they would please attend my ice cream store. Meanwhile, of course, they know it's a bike turned upside down downstairs that I like took the pedal and would like turn it, and I guess that was me churning ice cream, I don't know. And that was the whole setup. It wasn't any more elaborate than that. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I just handed them air, but it was in my imagination, you know, it really felt like an ice cream store, I'm sure. So apparently I went up several times upstairs, because outdoors was like downstairs, so I had to like go up the stairs to the apartment we lived in, and then tell my parent like, hey, when are you coming, and they kept saying they would be coming, but they didn't come. And so I don't know how many times I went back, but finally my family member came downstairs, and it had been quite a while at this point, and they walked up to my ice cream stand and said, okay, you know, I'm finally here at your ice cream stand. I would like to order some chocolate ice cream. And apparently, according to my family member, I looked at them very firmly and said, we are all out. We don't have any. No chocolate ice cream. And he knew at that point, like, this was I was upset. There wasn't going to be any ice cream. There were no flavors available any longer. So apparently I refused to serve him. And that's the end of the story. That's it. All day I was down there, churning my ice cream, begging for my parent to come down. And because it took so long, when he finally arrived, I put my foot down, I guess, and was not willing to serve him anything. And I get told that story quite a bit. You know what, I hear it better from this angle. Yeah. This is our second pillow. I don't remember if... I think that they did proceed to ask. He did proceed to ask, you know, for different flavors, and I just continued to say, we don't have that, and we don't have that. And it's like, then what am I doing here? So that's how that went. Another memory I have, well, actually that wasn't a memory, that was what everyone told me, but another story from my youth was that in a different place that I lived, there was a backyard, and me and my sibling, we decided we wanted to have a pool in our backyard. And so we started to dig a hole. And every day we would go outside and dig our hole. And it was... I remember it very well. I remember it being maybe 3 feet wide and eventually like 5 feet deep, maybe 6 even. But I had this like visual in my mind of what this like pool was going to look like, and like it really, I still to this day can close my eyes and picture this pool that we were building, we were creating. And it was like kind of like almost like a resort or something. There's like a pool and some like chairs and nice space, you know. I thought that's what we were building in our backyard, which was mostly dirt, some grass. And we did have this like really big, not shed, it was like almost like a covered patio in the middle of this backyard. It was really big, and we played a lot in there. Friends and family, we would always play, the kids would always go and play lots of games in there and create lots of fun things. But that was back, our hall was behind that patio, and I just remember going out every single day and just digging away, thinking that this was like becoming this amazing thing. And you know, we were so little, we didn't have any concept of like how you're going to fill that hole with water and not have it just be mud. But I think because we were like so focused for so long, we'd wake up, go dig the hole all day, come back, do it again. We were more like excited about how big in our minds, because we were small, how big it was and how we were making it like so grand. And we never like, I think we probably tried to put water in it or something, but we ended up getting sidetracked and created like, we would always create lots of things in our backyard. So I think we finally realized that was as big as we could make it, and we just pretended in our minds that we had a pool, but we could never actually like fill it with water because it didn't have any kind of system in place to not just become mud. But I remember that hole, and I remember in my mind it was like a full pool resort. Like that's what it looked like to me. And yeah, we probably tried to like bring towels out and sit next to it and pretend it was a pool. I think I remember doing that. And we were satisfied. We felt like we made a pool. I also remember in that same backyard, we would buy these, we would go behind like stores that had like large cardboard boxes for different appliances they were selling, and we would specifically get big refrigerator boxes. You could go and just grab them for free. And so we grabbed a bunch of those. My family did, not just the kids. We were little still. And we made a pirate ship for a birthday, one of the birthdays, out of this giant cardboard box. So we took these boxes and we built like a giant, with parents' help and stuff, we built a giant pirate ship was what we built. It was a birthday party, like I said, and so like we set out this giant, maybe we had like 4 or 5 of these huge refrigerator cardboard boxes, put them together in a way that made it look like a ship, and we put like a pole on it with like a sail. I think we tried to maybe we had black paint and we painted some things on it to make it look like a pirate ship. So that's another memory of that same backyard. And then we had like a birthday party and all the kids went in the pirate ship, and super fun. Okay, I've just got another pillow. This one is not as loud, but it's still really nice. Actually, it looks kind of similar to the color of that couch from the COVID days. Okay, I also remember from that same backyard, we would make these ramps with wood, long pieces of wood, and then we would like skateboard, like sit down on a skateboard and like go down it, or roller skates or rollerblades. It was probably a bit dangerous, but it was fine. We really enjoyed that. And then we had this tree in that backyard. When we first moved in there were maybe 2 or 3 big trees. We were just renting that place. And so I remember one day we came home from school or whatever, and the trees were gone, just gone. And we were all like, okay, so when we left in the morning there were 3 trees, and we came home, there's no trees. What just happened? And we had like a really inconsiderate what's the word, the person we were renting from. They were really inconsiderate. Without telling us, they just went into the backyard that day when everyone was at work and school. They had paid people to come and remove the trees because apparently there was an issue with the roots and the drains, the pipes under the home. They didn't tell them, like, hey, we're going to remove the trees. Just ridiculously, like, inconsiderate. Yes, we don't own it and we're paying rent for it, but still, like, it's not like a big like apartment unit thing. It was just a house with just us in it. He just had to call and say, this is what we're doing. And so, but before those trees were removed, we had this one tree that had one of those branches. It was, I can't remember what this tree's called. Maybe some of you know, but it's one of those trees where the branches grow very flat, like out parallel to the floor. And so I remember we'd come home from school and go sit on that and have a snack on that branch, because we could just sit on it, and it was not too high up that it was like unsafe, but it was high enough where it felt like we were kind of floating. And it was such a big backyard. It's the biggest backyard I've ever had in my life. It wasn't, in comparison to many people in the world, it's probably small, but for us it was actually quite big. Because again, it was this giant square, and then in the middle of the square was a square patio that was covered, and it was big. It was like, that was like the size of an entire garage, Landlord, that's the word. The landlord was not the kindest. I actually do remember that we didn't have anything in the rental contract. I know this from my parent, about having cats or dogs. And so I've probably mentioned this before, but my mom got 2 little kittens for us kids, and we were so excited. We had never had a dog or cat before, and we had these 2 little kittens that she had bought for us. And shortly after we got them, the landlord found out and said we had to give them back, the kittens, because we weren't allowed to have pets. But it wasn't in the contract, and it was a house with like a lot of space in the backyard. It's just, he took 2 kittens from kids, basically. It's just like, anyway, at the time that's something that should have been in the contract, and was assumed that if that's not in there, it's fine. Anyway, the other thing that happened at that house was we were robbed. We had a break-in. We came home from school again one day. There were mostly good memories in this place, but this one was not good. Came home from whatever, and I remember walking in, and there was like kind of a smell that was weird. Something felt really off. Then I walked into the room that was my bedroom, and it smelled like alcohol. And again, I was really small. I was young. It smelled like alcohol, and I was like, that's really weird, you know. And then I remember the like hallway area. My bedroom door was here, and my mom's bedroom door was here. And so I walked through and smelled something weird in mine, and then I did like a 180 and turned this way, and all my mom's dresser drawers were all over the floor with everything pulled out. So of course I like screamed for my mom, and she came, and we left the house immediately, called the police, the whole thing. They had like taken money and checks and all sorts of things, jewelry, I think. Anyway, it was horrible. Have any of you guys ever had that experience of being burglarized? Yeah, it was very invasive. I do remember we all slept on the floor together in the living room that night, the first night or two, because it was very like, yeah, disturbing. They had come through, they had been doing this in our neighborhood apparently, going through people's backyards, like jumping over fences, and anyone who had a window that was unlocked in the back, they would go through it. So apparently we had a small window in our kitchen that was unlocked, and they got through it. That's also the house that I've mentioned before, that I used to have a bedroom that I transformed into it was a TV show set of a certain show at the time about dinosaurs, and I thought it was really cool, and I had visited that set. Long story, and so I thought it was just the coolest thing. So I created in my bedroom, I transformed it into this dinosaur's home, and it was really fun. That's probably the best memory of that particular place. I'm gonna go back to this pillow because I think I like it the best. Oh, I have one more item here that's not a pillow too, so let me do this for a moment and then I'll grab that. So yeah, the first story was from the backyard of where I was born and raised. The other stories were from, I think, the third place I ever lived. One, two, three. Yeah. And the place in between the first and the third place was a very short time. But I do remember something really cool about that place too. We called it the black and white house because it had a black and white checkered floor in the kitchen, and it had this really cool door between the kitchen and I think the dining room. There was a wall that did one of these little, so it looked like a wall, but if you pushed it, it would turn and you could go through the wall to the next room. I thought it was so cool. Part of the wall was a mirror in one room and whatever the paint color was in the other room, and it would flip. So that was a really fun memory in that particular place. But I don't remember having a backyard there. There might have been something small, but long story short, that ended up being a short time because then we found that place with the backyard, and it was, long story. Trying to think of other backyard stories as a kid. I do remember that later on in life, we had a garage in another place, and that place we would build like Disneyland or like Magic Mountain in our garage. We create different rides and like pretend it was like an amusement park that we created in our backyard. I'm sorry, garage. So it was covered so we could like keep everything there, and my family's really cool about when we would create creative spaces like that. They wouldn't like make us take it down after building it. We could like keep it. Like my room was like that for months and months and months, and the garage was like that for a long time too. And we would just create more rides, you know, like the skateboard on the wood piece, and wheelie chairs that we'd turn around and bring through, make it like the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, you know. So we used our imagination a lot. Okay, I just want to show you this one. This is actually my laundry bin, and I'm gonna try and bring it in. Okay, here it is. I really wanted to just have this for the moment because it does remind me of the sound of that couch during COVID. One of my parents is extremely creative. The other one is creative too, just like the other one. It's like extremely creative. So we would build a lot of fun things. I remember building castles out of like paper, and they'd end up being like 4 feet tall, and then we'd keep them in our house. So yeah, those are just some stories from my childhood. I kind of thought I'd share. I know you guys really love the stories, and Kate asked for some chit-chatting stories or some Bible verses as I scratched on things. But I just recently did a video reading the book of John. I did 2 videos. One is John chapters 1 through 10, and the second video is John chapters 11 through 21. So I thought I would just tell some stories. To this day, my family member loves to tease me about them coming down after working all day and me just being like, sorry, we're all out. I guess I was trying to let them know that I was disappointed that they weren't coming. That they didn't come for so long, I guess. Whoops. But I have a really fun relationship with that parent and with both my parents. But so it's fun. We kind of tease each other a lot. Okay, you guys, I'm just going to put this little guy back and just briefly. Oh, you're still there. Okay. And just say goodbye to you as we do some scratches on the wood. Thank you again, Kate. Thank you for everyone who's watched. Hey, if you've gotten to the end of this video, let's randomly put a light bulb emoji in the comments. You don't have to put anything else with it. If there's just a light bulb, I'll know exactly what that means. Okay, Love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching.